Welcome back to this short unboxing video where we're going to take a look at the next things going onto my painting table. Once some Roger Kerr get done early this week. Now, I was lucky enough for Parabellum Games to send me both a Mahut as well as the favorite of Hormus to go on top. So we're going to be boxing those today. I do thank Parabellum for this, of course. They actually are really helpful, so it does help out because then this is something I wanted to work on, and I'm about at the point where I can start doing that. Keep in mind, if you yourself are looking to get anything from Conquest, we do have a discount code in the show notes below, Terrain Kickers. You can click on it, saves you 10%, helps out the show as well. And without further ado, let's get to this bad boy. Okay, first comment before I get into this, and I don't know if I've talked about this before, is honestly, I love the way they do the look of the box and everything like that. When I think of a lot of miniatures games, GW's gotten better about this, but a lot of times it doesn't necessarily look appealing. The model may, so when you kind of flip it over and look at, more of it there, but just the way they do the design, I just find it very aesthetically pleasing. But, in the back where they show the full model, that's pretty common for a lot of things, and we'll get into that in a second. So, why don't we take a look at the big guy first? That makes sense. All right, so we know this is a big monster. It's, I want to say, about 240 points. You can get some shots if you put the archers on it. So we, of course, have an archer sprue to put on there. I want to say it's 4 archers. Did they show this? It would be on the underside of this. I want to say it's like 4 archers. Well, looking at the bodies, yeah. That should be 1, 2, 7 to make 3, and about 4. So it should be about 4 archers total. What I'm curious, and I'll have to take a look at the instructions, the best way to do that. Big old base, which I finally now have my basing material, so I'll be doing a lot of that as well. I'll be showing some of those off. We got our card for this guy. Oh, sorry. No, for the Nerd Disciples, since they go on top, but instead you can always put this guy on top if you want. What I like, at least I can see, is that they give you the bases up, and they do give you something to put it in. So that means, I'm wondering how they actually attach them. I'm hoping they attach it in a nice way where I can easily swap back and forth. Because, okay, rules-wise, Parabellum Hormus, not the way I want to run my casters. I don't want to put them in harm's way in any way if I can avoid it. And a few other reasons. I kind of also think you get more out of it if it can shoot, and there's a reason of all that. But I absolutely love the model on top, so I want to kind of be able to go back and forth on that. All right, so this guy, you can see his face. You can see just how big this guy actually is. His piece that goes, that's probably the part along his back where then what they sit in goes right here. Ooh, look at them legs. Okay, so 2, it looks like, are they duplicates? Not exactly duplicates, but pretty close to duplicates. So his backside piece is there. Front leg, definitely a back leg. Looks like the legs are, looks like just 2 pieces to put most of it together. Oh, there he is. There's his card. Look at him. For anyone who doesn't know the lore, it's not actually alive. It is essentially made of stone. It's probably absolutely like marble, I believe, technically instead, but it's not actually sort of like a living thing or anything like that, like the Freets or the Jinn are. And then upper part of his head, another side tusk, other side tusk. Oh yeah, they did say it has 2 different heads. Okay, so this is related to one of the heads, and this one is the other. Taking a look at it, heads look actually very similar. Might be kind of hard to see in this, but it looks like for this one, there's just a little bit of some little rivets almost. I'm kind of curious how different the heads are. You can tell for the tops, this one is much more ornate than the top of his head here. So that seems to be a little bit of the distinction there. Taking a look at this guy. Okay, so good amount of instructions. Yeah, the 2 different heads. They show you there what one looks like, and the other one actually, there it is. They show there. So taking a look at the 2 heads, just more of how ornate it looks. No real other big difference, which is fine. They show the body go together. Looks like it should hopefully go pretty well. I know their newer kits have actually been, honestly, a pleasure to put together. They've been very, very good. Okay, and they do actually give these guys. So, by the look of it, by also looking at what they're going to stand on, so just to make sure it's clear, notice, this is the piece inside. You put essentially everything around it, and that's essentially what they're standing on. That's sort of their plinth or however else you want to put that. But they just go on a standard base, so they're literally just popping them on top. Nothing else. Now, when I'm curious, I magnetize the bottom of all of mine. Pretty much mine of everything. So a little, I want to say it's like a little 1 inch, or sorry, not 1 inch. One couple millimeter magnet. Not one, probably like a 3, I think. I have a pile of them around. Go in there. I put another one in the bottom of the magnet base. Pack them on. What I'm curious is if on this, it is actually pretty thick. I'm curious if I can put a big enough magnet in this. Because by the look of the instructions, this is going onto the back. So there is some space inside. I'm wondering if it's strong enough if I put a sizable enough magnet to try to magnetize these guys down. I'm not sure I necessarily need it, but I'm curious if I can do that. I may or may not. The only thing I like about that is, especially for transport purposes, I'm not worried about them moving around too much. If not, then, or if that seems like it's going to be too much of a hassle, then I'm just going to put them in this, and then I'll transfer them over. So, not as many pieces as I thought he might be. I am happy about that. I will say in general, they don't try to do too many pieces for their kits. I've just assembled a Mortec crawler within the last month for GW, and that thing is tons and tons of pieces. Here, not nearly as much. So, let's take a look at what we get in the favorite here. So, the favorite Hormus card. We do get the cards. Do we have the card that I'm missing? No. No, because favorite of Hormus is a Maharaj. I have the special edition sorcerer, so I'm still missing the one sorcerer card. But you get all the cards, which is good. So you don't have to actually worry about getting another caster to be able to do this. Okay. Actually, much smaller than I thought. The pack might not be nearly as big. What is the only thing not attached? Oh, no. A few things. Okay. So, head's not attached. Just pop that right on around top there. And it looks like end of a pillow. Yeah, just a fancy ornate pillow, as well as a hand. This, obviously, this part gets clipped off, but then just a hand. But everything else is actually fully attached to the spot. So, where the hand goes, pillow, and the head. Now, if this is one of the first times you worked with resin, make sure you wash these. I assemble and then wash. It's absolutely fine to do it that way. Some people may tell you otherwise. You won't have a problem if you do it that way. I've never had a problem with that. Curious how easily the head goes on. Okay, no, very easy. Don't actually have to trim any of the inside. I was worried about that. Just had to trim that one piece off there. Put our pillow on. Yep, pillow goes, it seems, effectively one way, which is good. And as someone who put reaver legs on wrong, I appreciate any time that a model can only effectively be done one way. So, let me put this stuff to the side for a quick second. Taking a look then. So, we know effectively this is the zone they would go in, so they just go right there. Smaller than I would have thought. My guess is, taking a look at it, the end is curved, so they probably nestle in. It's probably not that wide because that way it can kind of go right to the nestling part there. I am excited to get this together, get this thing painted up. I'm going to make some videos related to that, or a video related to that. If it comes out decent, there's always a chance it doesn't, but if it comes out decent, you'll see the video. If it comes out absolutely terrible, you very well may not. But I plan on doing a little bit more of a marbling effect. So when you actually take a look at the top, they've done a bit of a marbling up here. My plan is to try to do that throughout this thing. So I'll probably still do the gold because gold is an accent color. I've been using purple. Actually, I might, or probably mine will be red because that's some more of my accent colors. But I'm actually going to try to take what they do here and do it throughout the thing. Um, in there, I will explain the technique to do it. One of the general techniques is you take effectively wet wipes, you dry them out, and then you stretch them out, and that's what you paint over, and that's what gives you some of this styration and all. So, I think that's the right term for it, but if not, that's okay. It's kind of late for me right now. All right, so that is this particular kit. This particular week, when you see this, you're going to see a whole bunch of other stuff for spires. You're going to see some potentially other general things that I have on the works. And you might, depending how fast I get to this, see a bit on this. I actually have some work stuff I had to do this week, but I'm hoping maybe by later on Wednesday to get started on it. So maybe by next week, you'll see a video that goes through a painting process for this. All right, well, on behalf of everyone here at the show then, have some good hobbying and some great gaming.